This is Made for More Living with Johnny Jennings, powered by eXp Realty. Online at madeformoreliving.com.
So thank you so much, JJ, for reminding me. We almost moved off this topic, and there is still some ground to cover regarding home equity lines of credit. Because yes, you can pay off your credit cards. Yes, you can, have that home equity line for a rainy day should you need it. But you can also use it to get your house ready if you're considering selling the home, right?
Yeah, it's a great way to go, because, a lot of people think, oh, I'm trapped. I got to be here and my house isn't really prepared to sell. It doesn't need to be. Just come get a home equity line, utilize those funds to redo your pool, redo your kitchen, do whatever you need to do. Yeah. Then it'll be ready to sell.
So I have a client right now who's considering making a move. She's gone through some horrible stuff, like life-altering, devastating events. And she's looking to move out of state and start fresh somewhere else with her son. And but throughout all these events, she's racked up a lot of credit card debt. She couldn't maintain the pool. The fence is falling over. The flooring's all messed up in the house. And so what she's considering doing is taking out a home equity line of credit, paying off her credit card, so that way she gives her a little bit more money on her monthly budget, and then using some of those funds as well to get the house ready. And so if you're considering getting your house ready, and if you're considering going on the market, please reach out to us. Just Google madeformorerealty.com, come out and we'll give you a consultation, and we'll identify what things you should focus on. But if you decide you want to move down this route, what I typically recommend is at least get a pest inspection. If you're going to get and if you have a pool, maybe get a pool inspection. Get a home inspection, get the roof inspected. Because then if you're going to pull this money out, you know exactly what a buyer is going to see when they do their own inspections. So you're able to focus in and really focus on the improvements that are going to give you a better return on your money rather than just shooting blindly in the dark. But there is something like you need to be aware of about home equity lines of credit. Right, JJ, especially if they're going to be listing their home in the near term, like how would you recommend they have that conversation with a potential loan officer?
Well, are you speaking of maybe wanting to open that up before you list your home? Yeah.
So before versus it being on the market, let's say let's say somebody's been on the market and they're like, oh my gosh, there's all these repairs. I don't have the cash. I'll just pull out a home equity line of credit.
Sure.
Are you able to do that?
Yeah, so typically you're going to want to do it before you put your house on the market. Otherwise, you're going to have to pull it off, and then, you're going to have to then, wait a few months before you can then qualify for a home equity line. The bank wants to see that, this is still their home, they're living there. But if you do it right now and you wait until you fix up your home, you do the things you want to do, then you can go put it on the market after.
Got it. So if you're thinking about doing this, make sure you have the conversation with your real estate agent, or you have the conversation with myself and my team before you go live on the market. Because if you go live on the market, it's going to be really hard, and it's going to be not necessarily hard. It's just going to take more time for you to get that home equity line of credit approved. But there's also another great thing that you can do. So let's say we've talked about paying off credit cards. We've talked about fixing up a house, but you can actually potentially buy a house on a home equity line of credit, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So how does that work?
Well, if you have enough equity in your home, like we talked about, there's these Americans out there that have a ton of equity sitting in their home. You can literally take out however much you need, up to the usually 80% loan to value. Sometimes they go as high as 90% loan to value.
Oh wow!
And you can take that and use that as cash to go purchase your next home. So your offer really stands out strong because you're buying the home with cash because you don't have to get another loan. And then you can come and refinance that after if you'd like.
So out of a HELOC into a more traditional mortgage.
Correct.
And the banks are fine with that? Like are the rates different because is it seen as an investment property because you're living in a home and now you're buying another home? Like how does that look?
Yeah, so a lot of times the way this will work is you're living in a current home that you enjoy, but you would like to potentially purchase something, an upgrade, or maybe you want to downgrade or whatever it looks like. But you've got this equity in your house. So I'm going to pull out enough. I've got my $500,000 home equity line there. I'm going to go buy this next home. You do. Now, the current home that you were living in, you have this home equity line on. But you have your new home that you're living in today that you've purchased with it. Now, you don't have a loan on this new house. So you go take cash out of that one and go pay off the home equity line on the old home.
Got it. Okay. So they're not necessarily asking, hey, what are you using this money for? You're just getting a home equity line of credit, so you can have a home equity line of credit, and then you go out and buy the house.
You can, yep.
Got it. Okay, cool. Well, that's super helpful. And so if they want to reach out to you, they can go to madeformorerealty.com. We'll get you connected. Or just Google JJ Mack, and you'll see his wonderful reviews there online. But there was, we were going to talk about something else, and we will, sorry, my Remarkable is not cooperating with me.
Technology's not
these days.
cooperating?
Yeah, tech isn't working. You had a stat recently that you showed me about the number of loan officers in the market and just how it's gone down over a period of time. And if anybody has tried to get a home loan, and recently, you've probably been blown up by dozens and dozens and dozens of hungry loan officers trying to solicit your business. And so JJ, just between the last 2 years, about how many? So just give us those stats really quick to set the stage.
Yeah, the competitiveness is fierce right now in this industry, real estate and loans. 2022 there was 395,000 loan officers, and now today there's less than 100,000.
Wow. So almost 75% of the loan officers have left this industry because it's so hard.
Very difficult.
So imagine there being a bunch of, fat and happy cows. Now you're down to the 4 fat and happy cows. Now you're down to one really skinny cow. And that one little skinny cow is going to do whatever he can to get some food. And so when somebody applies for a loan, unfortunately, they get their credit pulled, that information is then shared across the credit bureaus, or how does that work?
Yeah, a lot of times, it's all public information when you have your credit pulled, unfortunately, and it goes out to every single lender in the world almost. And so these guys will literally call you milliseconds. They've got AI now that just is on it. And they will call you and they will offer you things that you can't even imagine.
Like what?
Interest rates that are unattainable.
Bitcoin.
Yeah.
No, interest rates is a big one. Low fees.
Basically, you'll be able to tell them what you want, and they'll promise you that.
But that doesn't mean they'll deliver on it, and that's the big differentiator. So these imagine again starving cows. These people want food. They need. I mean, this is how they provide for their families.
Right.
Like this. I'm not trying to make light of their situation, but where I think a line needs to be drawn is if you are not doing a lot of business, the question I would be asking is why? Why are more people not working with you? Is it an ethics thing? Is it you don't have access to programs? Or are you not good at your job? So why are you not doing a lot of business? That's maybe a question that I would have. And then 2, are you being honest with me? Are you? Because the first time I bought a house, I was locked in. It was a referral from one of Valerie's parents' friends. She'd been in the industry a long time. She said, hey, here's this great lender. You should work with him. I said, great. Got pre-approved, and all of a sudden I got a call from somebody, similar to what JJ's describing. And he's like, oh, yeah, I can get you a better rate. And I got the special grant program, and it's going to save you $10,000. Got to the end of the situation. This is my first time buying a house. Ended up buying this house at the closing table. I'm on the lake with my dad at my bachelor party. And I get a call, and they're like, oh, yeah, you need to bring an extra $10,000 to the table. I'm like, what are the freaking odds that it's... So he just lied to me. So I went away from this trusted resource, from this referral partner, into somebody that I didn't know, and I ended up owing the money and then some anyways. So that guy lied to me to get my loan because he knew once I was that deep into the process, the likelihood of me switching and starting all over was next to none. And so that's what's happened to me, but that's what's happening to people right now, even more so because lenders are being more aggressive with what they're promising clients, right?
Yeah, over-promising, under-delivering.
You just had an experience with a veteran.
Yeah, and that one sticks out to me. As a veteran, we actually employ several veterans at our mortgage brokerage, and we take it very seriously what we can do for vets. And this guy came to me, trusted referral source. We got him approved. He went out looking for a home. He put the offer in, and somehow somebody found his information, called him up, and promised him something that was way too good to be true. And I told him that. A better interest rate with no costs. It gets to the final closing table, like you said, a couple weeks later, and sure enough, $14,000 popped up. and he had to come up with $14,000. He didn't. He did call me back, and we figured it out. I had kept his loan open because thinking this was going to happen.
Yeah.
And but that's how it is right now. It's very competitive.
It's just sad too when you take advantage of veterans.
Yep.
That's what really sucks.
Well, it's just lying.
They're just straight up lying and try and get the business because they know they're probably never going to see you again, but they're going to get paid. It's gonna put some money in their bank account so they can stay in the industry a little bit longer.
Is that what they mean by predatory lending? Is that where that term comes from?
That's one of the things. Yep.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. There's lots of different ways of predatory lending. That is absolutely one of them. Being able to take advantage of somebody in some way, predatory lending. And now, this particular guy was smart enough to call us back, and he was very humble about it. A lot of people would just move forward with it. Unfortunately,
I did. Yeah. So when we come back, we're going to talk about more about what's happening in real estate and a little real estate gossip.
Hey, listen, don't take his word for it. Don't take my word for it. Check out the almost 1,000 5-star Google reviews who say that Johnny Jennings and his team at Made for More Realty are the best in our area when it comes to selling your home. There's a reason why they were voted #1 team in Roseville for the past 3 years. People are saying that they sell your home faster and for more money. So if you're thinking about maybe moving out of state, you want to retire, or maybe you're thinking about downsizing to something more manageable, or you just want to move to a different part of town, Google Made for More Realty today, Johnny Jennings with Made for More Realty, and get more for your home.